Have you ever wondered what makes a soldier charge into almost certain death? Not out of duty, but out of sheer devotion to one person? Is it loyalty, or is it a darker form of psychological manipulation? Today, we're diving deep into the minds of two of history's most charismatic and controversial leaders, Napoleon Bonaparte and Julius Caesar. We'll explore the dark psychology they used to command unwavering loyalty, turning ordinary men into legends who would follow them to the ends of the earth, and even beyond. Let's set the scene. Imagine you're a Roman legionary, thousands of miles from home, facing a much larger enemy. Your commander, Julius Caesar, rides to the front. He doesn't just give orders from the rear, he knows your name. He remembers that time you saved a comrade in Gaul. He looks you in the eye and speaks not of glory for Rome, but of shared victory, of the spoils you'll win together, of the honor you'll bring to your family. Suddenly, the fear in your gut is replaced by a burning desire to prove yourself, not just for Rome, but for him. Now fast forward 18 centuries. You're a young French soldier, cold and hungry in the harsh Russian winter. Your emperor, Napoleon, walks among the campfires. He shares a piece of his own ration, asks about your village, and claps you on the shoulder. He talks about the destiny of France, a destiny that he says is intertwined with your own personal glory. He makes you feel like you're not just a cog in a machine, but a vital part of his grand vision. In that moment, you'd follow him into the heart of a blizzard, and many did. So what's the secret sauce? It's not just about giving a good speech. It's a powerful cocktail of psychological tactics, and the first ingredient is creating a powerful in-group identity. Caesar and Napoleon were masters at this. They didn't just lead an army, they forged a brotherhood. They used we and us constantly. It was our victory, our struggle. By doing this, they blurred the lines between the leader and the LED. The soldiers weren't fighting for a distant concept like the state. They were fighting for their group, their brothers in arms, and the man who embodied that group. This taps into a fundamental human need to belong. When you feel part of an exclusive, elite group, your loyalty to that group and its leader skyrockets. The world becomes a simple us versus them, and you'll do anything to protect us. The second key element is the strategic use of shared hardship. Both Caesar and Napoleon understood that bonds forged in adversity are the strongest. They didn't insulate themselves in luxury while their men suffered. Caesar famously marched on foot with his legionaries, eating the same simple food. Napoleon was known for his tireless energy, often sleeping only a few hours and being constantly present with his troops on campaign. When soldiers see their leader enduring the same mud, the same cold, and the same danger, it creates an incredible sense of solidarity. It sends a powerful message. I am one of you. Your suffering is my suffering. This builds a level of trust and respect that no amount of pay or privilege ever could. The leader is no longer just a commander. He's a comrade. Next up is the powerful lure of a transcendent vision. Humans are meaning-seeking creatures. We crave purpose, a reason to strive for something greater than ourselves. Napoleon was an absolute genius at this. He didn't just talk about conquering territory. He spoke of spreading the ideals of the French Revolution: liberty, equality, and fraternity. He sold his soldiers a dream of a new Europe, a destiny they were helping to create. He famously told his army in Italy, "Soldiers, you are naked, ill-fed. I will lead you into the most fertile plains in the world. Rich provinces, great cities will be in your power." He linked their personal gain directly to this grand historic mission. Caesar did the same, framing his campaigns not as personal power grabs, but as necessary actions to secure the glory and stability of Rome. By giving their soldiers a noble cause, they elevated the brutal reality of war into a heroic quest. Their lives and deaths were no longer meaningless. They were sacrifices for a glorious future. But here's where it gets a little darker. It wasn't all just inspiration and camaraderie. Both men were masters of psychological manipulation, particularly through reward and punishment. But their rewards weren't just money. They were personal. A simple nod of approval from Caesar, a public commendation, or a battlefield promotion from Napoleon was worth more than gold. These acts of personal recognition made soldiers feel seen and valued as individuals. It fostered a desperate desire to earn the leader's favor. They created a culture where the ultimate prize was the leader's personal esteem. Think about the psychological weight of that. You're not just fighting to survive. You're competing for the approval of a figure you've come to idolize. And what about the flip side? While they could be generous, they could also be ruthless. Caesar's punishment of the 10th Legion for mutiny is a classic example. Instead of just executing the ringleaders, he threatened to decimate the entire legion, a practice where 1 in every 10 men is killed. The legionaries, horrified, begged to be led into battle to prove their loyalty, even offering up their own centurions for punishment. Caesar forgave them, cementing his power and their terrified devotion. He understood that the threat of losing his favor, of being cast out from the group, was a more powerful motivator than the fear of the enemy. This leads us to the final, and perhaps most potent, element: the creation of a larger-than-life persona. The cult of personality. Caesar claimed descent from the goddess Venus. He staged magnificent triumphs in Rome and carefully crafted his public image through his own writings, the commentaries on the Gallic War. He wasn't just a general, he was a semi-divine figure, chosen by fate. Napoleon, a true marketing visionary, controlled his own narrative through bulletins, paintings, and a tightly controlled press. He was depicted crossing the Alps on a magnificent rearing stallion, not on the actual mule he rode. He was the man of destiny, an unstoppable force of nature. When soldiers believe their leader is touched by greatness, that they are guided by destiny, it creates an aura of invincibility. It makes them feel like they are part of something immortal. Following such a man isn't just a duty, it's a privilege. You're not just a soldier, you're a witness to history, an instrument of a great man's will. Your own life becomes part of his legend. This belief system short-circuits rational thought. The risks of battle seem smaller when you believe you're on the side of destiny itself. So, was it loyalty or folly? The truth is, it's a complex and unsettling mix of both. These leaders didn't just command armies, they captured hearts and minds. They masterfully appealed to our deepest psychological needs: the need to belong, the need for purpose, the need for recognition, and the desire to be part of something legendary. They built a brotherhood through shared hardship, offered a transcendent vision to give meaning to sacrifice, and created a powerful cult of personality that made them seem more than human. The loyalty they inspired was real, passionate, and incredibly powerful. But it was a loyalty cultivated through a sophisticated and at times dark understanding of human psychology. They showed that if you can control what people believe and what they value, you can lead them almost anywhere, even into the jaws of death. It's a chilling reminder of the power of charisma and a well-crafted narrative. The same tools that build empires and inspire heroic devotion can also lead to devastating conflict and blind obedience. Understanding this dark psychology isn't just about looking back at history. It's about understanding the world we live in today, recognizing these patterns of influence in modern leaders, in marketing, and even in our own social groups. The story of Caesar, Napoleon, and their devoted soldiers is a timeless lesson in the potent and often dangerous power of human connection. Thanks for joining me on this deep dive into the psychology of leadership. If you found this fascinating, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more explorations into the hidden forces that shape our world. Let me know in the comments which historical figure you think was the ultimate master of manipulation. See you in the next one.